Hey everybody, Rodamon here. Thanks for tuning in to the Philosopher King, a RimWorld royalty series of benevolence. So, last episode I asked you all to take part in the polls, and hundreds of you did. So the rule about transporting the dead allies back to their homes will be allowed to be done with urns instead. Additionally, 2 new goals have been added to my docket, prioritizing bionics for the people who are wounded and hurt, and also building a proper hospital. I just want to thank everybody voting. Okay, a little recap of what's going on at the base here, because this is going to be a little complicated. We left off a bit of a cliffhanger. We've got a crazy amount of mechs landing at the southeast corner. Now, to me, it does not seem like any of these mechs are landing inside my walls, fortunately. So, here's the deal. I'm going to make sure that I create a few extra zones. Beer God and Vreedog. You guys are going to go to Area 1 as fast as you can, cutting through these doors and getting away from this mech hive. Danishi, I'm going to have you go to Area 1 as well. I don't know how far you're going to get. Philosopher, you're going to cut to this door. Klein and Damien, you also are going to cut to this door. Now, this pod drop, in the bigger scheme of things, was kind of a nice place to do it. Considering when a pod drop is triggered, it can be triggered upon any character in the community. It just so happened to pick Philosopher, who was in the corner of nowhere. Unfortunately, it also means that there was a ton of animals put at risk. So the rest of the animals here are going to go to grazing rather than hauling. And let's make sure I know where they are. So Pukes is already an Angelina. Okay, they're both somewhere relatively safe. The next thing I'm going to do is to get Bubbaloo outside to call in allied backup. Alright, so here we have the animals trying to shelter in place, which ought to sound familiar. It looks like the formal headcount is about 8 drop pods of mechs. I don't know what kind. They could be scythers, lancers, pikemen, or centipedes. Danishi, you are moving at 3.5. There won't be a clear line of sight that these scythers, mechs, whatever they are, will have a line of sight on you. So it's possible to have you get clear of that, which is good. Alright, Beer God and Vreedog are now able to go to animal grazing. Now, the important thing was to... Okay, so it is actually almost entirely ranged units. I don't really need backup for that group. This group is, I'm not going to call them puny. I mean, they have a lot of potential damaging power, but they're much unlike some of the other possible attacks that would be way worse. Alright, so, Philosopher, who can plant cut? You cannot really plant cut. Okay. I kind of want to get rid of this tree. It's a little bit in the way. So these guys are going to be going to the front kill box, which is already quite damaged from the last engagement. But what I'm planning on doing is using Bubbaloo's psychic powers to pull these enemies one at a time into sort of a trap. Now, I don't exactly have the right arms and armor to deal with this kind of fight, but that's alright. Alright, Bubbaloo, you are ready? Yes. Alright, so here we go. Pull this pikeman in. And all of you attack the pikeman. As you can see, there's lancers trying to fire on me. That pikeman very quickly got obliterated. And then we can start the clock over. Now I have Talon going out there because he, of course, is the best armored here. Alright, there's 3 pikemen down already. Now, the remainder of these I have to be careful about because they will be doing considerable damage. Taking a look up here, we've got lancers already. Okay, so let's close this and go deal with these lancers that got through these unfinished entry doors. So animals, you guys are all going to move yet again. Animals to the barn. Now, the mechs mostly just want to kill me, but they will shoot at animals if given the chance. Okay, a little bit of a... Okay, the wall is being shot. Now, I still have the other defoliator to deal with, so my guess is I roll the combat. Keep rolling the combat. Bubbaloo. Skip pull. If you have enough people shooting at a target at once, they do not pose too much of a threat. So we are down to just 1 pikeman, if my numbers are not incorrect, which is a pretty good slaying, considering I've had 1 pet get shot and Talon get bruised. Okay, that is done. Now, this is the real challenge, because centipedes don't mess around. Luckily, for me, at least, you all voted most recently to allow urns and ashes. So, here's the deal. I'm going to, because I was able to do that myself, I'm going to hold off on rolling into this group until I have a complete wall. I don't want there to be an easy way for enemy mechs to get into my base without going through the kill box. That basically defeats the purpose of having walls at all. So we are going to wait until this corner and these doors are finished up. Alright, Talon, you have not gotten tended to. Bubbaloo will do that. Now, I got relatively lucky with the types of mechs that landed. Pikemen and Lancers are sort of the easiest to kill. They're the least tanky. Centipedes, of course, are the most tanky, so this group is going to be somewhat nasty. It has 2 Scythers, a Pikeman, a Lancer, and 5 Centipedes. All of the Centipedes are heavy charge blasting Centipedes, which is to say probably the most damaging type of weapon that a Centipede can have. Actually, it's probably the most damaging type that an entire mech can have. Now, one of the tactics I can take against them is to try to focus very early on the Pikeman and the Lancer, taking them out of play, because sniper rifles can outrange the Centipedes, and I can just essentially snipe the Centipedes to death. It will take a very long time, but it is a pretty tried and trusted method. If you take a look at these centipedes, you could tell what range they have, I think. Or rather, you can mouse over it. This range... Here, let me just do a range out to here. Probably an easier way, but it's like a 27 range. Does this say 27 anywhere? Maybe it doesn't. Because I know sniper rifles are 40 or 45 range. Yeah, so you can outshoot the charge lances, but you can't outrange the lancer. The lancer's range is a lot longer. So that might be the way I go. I do have one Masterwork sniper rifle that Poppy made, and if I could get 2 or 3 more, that would make it a lot easier to deal with this incoming mech attack. Okay, so I'm letting my pets haul and graze again. If you recall, I had set up the hauling zone to not allow them near the defoliator and those mechs, so that should be pretty easy to keep my my friends away from that. My furry friends. So Zero is breaking down these mechs, and then the plan is to make a few sniper rifles to make it a little bit easier to take on this cluster. This defoliator is slowly going to emanate outwards and expand at a radius of 5 a day. So I have, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I have like about a week until it starts to really affect the plants in my own base. But even far before then, it's going to, it's going to be destroying stuff like the trees and whatnot around the map. Another thing I want to be doing, Poppy, you are currently cleaning. I want you to craft. But I don't want you to be crafting granite. I think we have enough granite. So I want you to be slag smelting. Just trying to get through this slag. Because, what is my current granite at? Yeah, I have plenty of granite to finish up the remainder of these walls. That is no issue. Alright, Zero. I want you to be smithing. Making a sniper rifle. And we gotta allow you to do this. I'm gonna have you make 3 more. Just drop what you're doing. So we have most of the base walls and all constructed. We have a lot more work to do in that regard. But, it's looking really good, I must say. So now what we need to do is to break down the extra walls. The walls that I didn't need or that I needed to move. Another thing I would like to do is to get maybe another researcher on. So we've got Yanshui at 11 and Chris at, okay, so Chris, you are, yeah. Chris, you are going to be deprioritized for everything else. And then, if I check the restrictions here, everybody's unrestricted. So what I'm going to do is have a new zone. And this is going to be called, Babaloo. I'm going to invert it. Everybody is going to be restricted to Babaloo except for Babaloo. And that way he's the only one that can research at the high-tech research bench. Which means Chris... Actually, you know what? Truth be told, I don't really care who is researching. So I'm gonna remove that. Babaloo gets... he gets... cabin fever. So actually it wouldn't be terrible for him to sit on the ground penetrating radar and search for minerals. It's it's really not that bad of an idea for him. Now, the other idea that I had was to expand. Now, everything in the core of my base right now is honestly very temporary, but it was to expand the my storage here so that I might be able to freeze the hay, and that way we don't have all this spoiling hay, and then allow my critters to go into the freezer, even the ones that allow them all to go into the freezer, essentially. All right, so these doors still have yet to be built, but they'll be built in good time. I'm going to expand this slag zone so that my pets can help haul more slag. Slag, personally, if you've watched any of my series before, I particularly like to keep the map tiles slag free. That's just something I like to do. I don't know why, I just do it. It's just the way it is. Slag in my mind is indeed a precious resource. You know, it's a dense steel that you can essentially get for free during pod drops, cargo drops, etc., etc. And in my mind, you might as well just collect as much as you can. All right, so I'm going to copy this hay storage and copy the name hay storage, and I'm going to be moving the hay storage over here, pasting the settings, pasting the name, removing it from here, and this will keep my my hay nice and frozen, providing this cooler is enough cooling for this entire space. It may not be, and if that is the case, I will I'll add some one additional cooler or something like that. Initially, it won't be cool enough because people are coming and going, but it should, after stockpiled, be pretty decent. So as you can see here, Bubbaloo is fulfilling his outdoor needs at the research, but he is in darkness, which I obviously could fix. Now I put a roof over his head so he won't be rained upon, because I didn't want rain on my head. And then I can also put a door right there. Now keep in mind that literally everything I'm doing right now, for the most part, is temporary, I feel at least. So, you know, I have a lot of little temporary projects going on, because I do want to fundamentally redesign the entire core of the base. But that's going to require me to, you know, defend against these mech attackers and the like. So here's the plan. The plan is to get enough sniper rifles that I could deal with these centipedes. I don't think that the royal aid that I'm possibly going to call in is going to be able to deal with all of that at once. That's a lot of centipedes. That's a lot of firepower. They're very, very tanky. So the idea is to try to get the royal aid to take out at least the lancer and the pikeman. Now the thing about that is Bubbaloo in the middle of the combat should be able to skip the lancer and the pikeman towards my group of people plus Talon to smash them up. Danger cluster. Oh boy. Gelly. Oh, Gelly again. It's Gelly. A mechanized swarm is attacking his settlements, and he wants me to deal with it. He'll send 11 champions to assist. I gain 8 royal favor. Alright, I want to deal one thing at a time, because it seems like mechs are really the thing I have to continually kill. So, what I really need to do is start designing and building up to be particularly well protected against mechs. So one huge thing I could do is a shield belt. A shield belt would really help Talon be able to deal with mechs a lot more easily. And then also, I don't have access to better helmets, so I'm going to give him a flak helmet. These are 2 items that should keep him a lot safer. Now, if I am to continually fight mechs, another thing I'm going to want to do is to get more brawling weapons that are effective. and ranged weapons that are effective. Charge lances and charge rifles are a lot more armor penetrating. The mechs, especially the centipedes, have particularly high sharp armor, which means that low caliber bullets, small bullets, will basically just bounce. They're not going to be an effective way to deal with mechs really at all. And the way you need to do it is to get a high penetrating round. You need to get charge lances. And, oh, okay, so we got... Wow, that is a lot of mega sloths. Okay, animals. Get to the barn. And then another thing I might want to do is to stick a door in here somewhere. To allow... Uh-oh. I didn't realize Mathis was out there. Well, I hope he... Yeah, okay. He collapsed. He's missing a toe. His bleed-out timer is now ticking. Bubbaloo is going to attempt to help Mathis. It's not going to be an easy thing. Now, fortunately, I do have completed border walls. So what I was going to do is allow the barn to include the food here. Now, they have kibble, but that's not going to be enough for... that's not going to be enough for the wargs. Alright. Everybody else... You're going to rally down here. Right, King Bob needs this wall broken here to go help Mathis. And then, Talon, I want you to actually close the front door. And the other one. I have two sets of doors they have to go through. Bob, let's go ahead and create a... And I got really lucky that Mathis only got knocked out the way he did. It could have been a lot worse. Alright, we do have the... Thanks, Faust. Alright, here's the deal. I think what I'm going to do is go to a corner where there isn't a lot of manhunting... manhunting mega sloths and try to take them on rather than to rely upon my... Oh, Mathis can already walk. Rather than rely upon my kill box, which is not completed and honestly fairly fragile as far as kill boxes go. The trouble is, Mathis is not going to really have access to a rifle for a bit. But that's just something I have to deal with. So, we're going to step out and start shooting as much as we can. Let's keep this door open. Okay, there are some babies that are coming. For whatever reason. I don't know why. Okay. Oop, nope. Don't prop that open. Now I'm sure... Oh, okay. They weren't actually able to enter. Now I do want to drag some in like I'm doing now. To isolate and make it easier to take down. I didn't want them to catch Talon quite that quick. Okay, there goes another one. Where'd Bubbaloo go? I'm gonna have Talon go rest. Given that they're trickling in, I might be able to take out the rest with my shooters. Using my castle defenses. Okay, so there's 5 circling Mathis, 1 up at my kill box. So I'm going to push towards Mathis's Mega Sloth. Or multiple, 6 actually. And Mathis, that's really no place for you to rest. Let's go have you rest in bed. Alright, Bob, you're not a psychopath. Go heal. Actually, let's... Yeah, you are actually maxed out for doctoring. That's strange. Oh, you were accidentally friendly fired, Mr. Boomrat. I apologize for that. And accidentally friendly fire murder too. Alright, so I'm sending Mathis to the hospital just to recuperate. He suffered quite a mauling. Now, I don't want to stand too close to the fire here, because then we're going to be firefighting instead of actually fighting. And now we're down to 1. Oh, did you get back up? Now, once a manhunter gets knocked out and they get back up, once they get back up, they're no longer manhunted. They're just, you know, injured and standing around. All right, so what I'm going to do is beat this fire out real quick. A, to not have my fresh kills ruined and pre-cooked. Oh, Zero just got himself burned? Yes, you did. Okay, so there is 1 left, and it is in the top of my kill box. Talon's been patched up. I'm going to clear the home zone. And then we're going to kill this last one and then get back to work. Cranking out weapons and upgrading our walls and the like. Oh, the one up top decided to wander into my deadfall traps, so that just sort of solved itself. Animals. You're going to go back to hauling and grazing. Another thing I'm going to need to do quite quickly is Bubbloo. I'm going to temporarily allow you to construct, just because I really need this door built. Without that door, my freezer doesn't really work, and all of that stuff kind of spoils. Now, at the moment, I'm going to see a windfall of meat, but that's not going to last for too long. Okay, so the assault rifle out there needs to get hauled in. Faustopia, I'm going to... Let's lift the restrictions and haul that assault rifle. So I've got a shield belt underway, sniper rifle underway, and flak helmet. And the flak helmet is destined for Talon's head. This freezer is indeed frozen, but of course it's September. It's, you know, fall. So it's not a very good indicator. Quest active. Stash of goodies. 6 advanced components for 6 mechanoids. That sounds like a rough trade. Now, in terms of assignments here, I do want to change the current outfit. So we have anything. Anything is going to be normal and non-tattered. But I'm going to start to whittle this down. So anything won't include a shield belt. And then I want a new outfit. Brawler. Which is normal and non-tattered. Which... Talon is going to be a brawler. And then this also means... Forget tainted apparel as well. And then don't worry about the Psi-Focus stuff or the noble stuff. Or tribal or smoke pot. And that should have Talon prioritize, yeah, wearing the shield belt. Exactly. And then another thing I wanted to do is Bubbloo. I'm just going to have you force wear the... Oh, no, you already have a vest. Yeah, never mind. Clear prioritize work. Oh, little Aurora. Pretty. Alright, so the flak helmet's now done too. And, I don't necessarily mind everybody else wearing flak helmets. That's totally fine. I just want Talon to be the first one to wear it. Because he's going to be a bit of a tank. So now we're getting back to the unfinished sniper rifle, Q. Aurora is now ending. My ground penetrating radar hasn't seen a whole lot of progress. There's still a lot more construction projects to get done around the base. Bionic replacements just got finished, which is insanely useful. Skin hardening healing factors. I'm going to start researching healing factors because that's going to, again, keep our people safe. That's sort of the priority here, is to make sure that we are keeping everybody as healthy as we are able. One of the reasons for this steel around the edges, and maybe eventually it will become tile, is to allow for more rapid movement, because of course flooring allows you to move a little bit quicker. Alright, so we've got 3 sniper rifles. This will be the 4th. Maybe 5 would be a really good number. I mean, I'd like as many as I can get, but let's be real, eventually this defoliator is going to start defoliating important farm area. Another thing I'm going to do is going to call this temp corpses. I'm going to put it on low priority, that fresh animal corpses that are not insects get hauled here. And that way the animals can haul our kills closer. And then allow animal hauling to go in here. And that way, yeah, Denishi, as you can see, is already starting to haul these mega sloths. And Damien is probably... Oh, Klein is hauling one. Yep, there we are. And now they're helping to move the mega sloths closer, so that I can just move them the last 20 feet. Go Frenzy for Yanshui. That's going to be helpful for the farming and sowing. Let's pop open the front doors again. Talon's fully healed. Mathis has considerable distance to go for healing. But I am going to give him a rifle, just in case. You never know when enemies are going to like fall through the sky and come harass you. Alright, yep, and here we go. That animal zone is really helping to clear out the Mega Sloth queue that I've got. And then what you've got is someone like Poppy who carries it the last 20 feet. Let's put in a little door here. That will make this task a wee bit easier. Alright, Shay. I don't know why you're going around now. It really isn't the faster way. This seems like terrible, terrible pathing. Okay. You have the pathing IQ of about 0. It's good to know. So now it's very clear the effect of the defoliator. You can see the expand rate is slowing down a little bit, but it's about to hit the edge of our community. Now, there's still more sort of wall stuff I want to get done. Ideally, because Mathis is one of my best shooters and is also iron-willed, I'd really like for him to recover. Where's the fire? Okay. Fully recover before I go for the fight. Seems to me like I'm a little low on resources here. So the sniper rifle queue is done, but I'm going to crank out a few more. The more the merrier. Chris has inspired recruit. We are flooring up as much as we can. Double Strand farm. I do find it kind of funny that Double Strand is one of those materials that is designed to be particularly flame retardant, and yet easily can be set on fire when it comes to lightning and forest fires and the like. I feel like its flammability should be greatly reduced. So right now what I'm doing, just because these Mega Sloths are going to decay relatively soon, is I am prioritizing the hauling of the leathers out of my stockpile so that there's more room for the Mega Sloths. I think what I would do is suspend Butcher Creature, just because I have a lot of meat and I don't really have room for more of it. Because the corpses are a lot more storage dense than the meat is, which is a strange concept. You get more meat than there is animal. That is true. Alright, now we're going to start hauling these Mega Sloths before they go full decay. We're starting to use our spillover barn for a zone, which is not massively ideal. It means that we have a lot of stuff that we need to trade. Hopefully getting a trade caravan going or a trade ship or something like that. Access to one of these would be really mighty nice right now. So there's all the Mega Sloths, so they won't get decayed. Mathis is somewhat healed. Now that toe scar that he's got is definitely going to slow him down when it comes to running around and whatnot. I'm setting up this steel spike traps to be auto rearmed, and then we are working on. Why 0? Can you not? Okay, need material. I think I'm out of components for the sniper rifles. Scan ground, found gold. That's going to be really, really nice. Obviously, I wanted like steel or plasteel, but gold works. And the where is it? Oh, solar flare. So that's cutting off all my power everywhere. Time to go back to the to Stone Age. So there's a lot more construction tasks to be done. I'm actually surprised that we haven't been doing them faster. Mathis almost fully healed up. Minus the injury. Rego the Lake is visiting. It's kind of a bad time, guys. But, yeah, welcome. And Denisha just gave birth. Now, here's one of the things is I don't necessarily want tons and tons and tons of warg puppies. I mean, they're kind of weird to have a load of them. And I just got 2 more. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is taking all of the wargs of one gender and sort of gifting them away. So it looks like I have a bond with a male one, which means I would gift away the females. Kind of sad, but I don't necessarily want like a sprawling warg population. That's just wasn't one of my goals. And as such, it's not something I'm going to be saddled with, if that makes sense. Right? You guys make up my goals, and being a warg breeder was not one of them. So that does mean that the beer god will be out of a warg. Because female... Yeah, because all the males have now been named and claimed. But again, being a warg breeder's not exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, so these guys have visited. I suppose I could trade with them. Couldn't hurt. Hello, folks. You've got a little bit of herbal meds. I don't even really need your herbal meds, but what I could give you is some damaged clothing, I suppose, for trade. Anything that is particularly low. I know they don't have enough money to cover this all, so I will buy their pemmican. Okay, I am hoping that the solar flare isn't going to spoil all of these corpses, because that would be really, really unfortunate. There's a whole lot of them. And it looks like a lot of the floor pathing is getting done now. The solar flare is ending, so it means that my freezer's getting cooled again. And we found some steel. Oh, and the steel is inside my own walls, whereas the gold from before is way up here. That's very nice. Alright. Another thing I could do is remove animal hauling from being able to step on the outer bailey walls, or whatever you want to call them, the perimeter wall. And maybe only allow them to path through certain gaps. And this is to remove the filth buildup, because all of these animals are building up filth, and then it's requiring someone like Poppy to run around and clean it all, which is kind of a lot of manpower for something that is fairly avoidable. So that's what I'm doing here, is setting it up so the animals don't linger on the floor tiles, because it does generate considerable filth. And to that mind, I might even just remove this here. So animal hauling. So here's the thing: if you don't have contiguous hauling zones, they will path there, but they'll path there going however they want to go, which means they won't necessarily take the smartest path that you want them to. So usually when I'm zoning, I like it to be contiguous, meaning that there's no breaks. Like imagine a fill tool. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways they can get out. And that should dramatically remove the amount of filth that I build up in these border walls, because then the animals won't just linger and wander in those zones. And I'll also update grazing appropriately as well. Alright, the double strand is getting manufactured. What I'm planning on doing with this is putting it towards clothing. That should be a very protective clothing. So my sniper rifle queue is still waiting on some components, but Zero is making... What is this waiting on? Okay, I need one more component to make the sniper rifle. Sniper rifle is very component dense. And the border wall is still waiting as well. I think this defoliator is going to have to wait, as I'm nearly out of time. But it has been quite the tumultuous episode regardless. Man, time really flies in this little community. Does it not? Okay, so here's the last sniper rifle that I figure I need. This will be sniper rifle 6. This gives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shooters a good sniper rifle. Inspired trade for Philosopher. Hopefully I can Well, I guess you can't really trade with any royals. You would be able to trade with other people. So another thing that I might want to do is, it seems to me like I'm having a kind of a hard time cleaning up my farms. There's a lot of crop here that just is sitting out here and sort of rotting in the fields, which is quite avoidable. So the last thing I'm going to do in this episode, even if it brings me a little bit over time, is to allow animal hauling to haul this stuff in. And here's my my thinking here, is most of the hauling animals don't graze. Most of my hauling animals are carnivorous, which means they're not really going to eat seeds out of the ground here, except for Vreedog. Vreedog is the only exception. And Vreedog has a lot other food availabilities. So as you can see, now my farm is actually getting tidied up because my animals have access to the zone that allows them to clean it up. Oh, there is a lack of contiguous zoning here. There we are. I don't know why Klein is sleeping where he's sleeping. Maybe all the beds were used. Maybe I need some more beds. And again, same sort of concept here, adding, actually it'd be easier to trace it with the fertility tool. I will risk Vreedog eating, it might even be worth making Vreedog no longer a hauler, because he's the only seed eater. I do believe, I'll have to go into the donkey diet, that sounds funny, but the donkey diet in just a second to make sure that that is the case, because maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm wrong about Vreedog. Alright, so animal hauling now allows the animals into the Devil Strand farm, not on the pathing around it, but where are you, Vreedog? Do you eat... Let me just find it like this. Do you eat seeds? Yes, seeds. So Vreedog, if allowed to be a hauler, will eat seeds straight out of the ground, whereas someone like Damien, raw meat, corpses only, Angelia, will eat seeds, but given that they are omnivorous, far less likely. Actually, you know what? We'll allow Vreedog to haul. I have a feeling like Vreedog will preferentially go for kibble and whatnot. All right, guys. Well, that's all the time I have, plus a little. If you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me, do drop me a line in the comments below or hop on my Discord channel, which you can find the link to at Rhadamant.com to discuss. Thank you all for voting in the last poll. I'll be working towards those goals as swiftly as I am able. If you are a patron of mine, just remember that you can always submit ideas for the polls on the Discord channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you all next episode. Adios.